The Honda Pilot is updated for 2019, and Honda says it looks a little bit more rugged. But is it really just looks, or can it handle a little bit of off-roading, and can it tow? Coming up right now, the first drive review, and we already have it in a precarious position. For 2019, the all-wheel drive system remains the same. Honda calls it IVTM, Intelligent Variable Traction Management System. There's also a 4 there for 4 wheels, but let's see if I can pull it down on this. Whoa, that's actually really cool. Never done that before.
And then under the hood, we have our 3.5 liter V6 engine. There's 2 transmissions, so the base trims get a 6-speed automatic, where the Touring and Elite get a newly updated 9-speed automatic.
All right, now it's my chance to open up this 3.5 liter. Nice. I think it basically is in line with how the 2018 Pilot drives in the previous model. On the light throttle, the Pilot starts off in 2nd gear, and Honda says it allows it to be a little bit more smoother and maybe a little bit more efficient. I can see that, it definitely feels smooth. And now let me do a full throttle acceleration. There it is. VTEC kicks in about 5,500 RPM. Works smooth. You know, you can't tell the new transmission has been reprogrammed, and it feels really sporty, feels good. Okay, what about the fuel economy? Well, the 2-wheel drive EX Pilot with a 6-speed automatic transmission is EPA rated at 19 in the city, 27 on the highway, and 22 combined. If you get the 9-speed, if you get the more expensive Pilot, the fuel economy improves in the city. 20 in the city, 27 on the highway, and 23 combined. Then for the all-wheel drive system, that costs $1,900 more for the Pilot. Of course, the fuel economy ratings come down just a little bit. It's still really competitive in the segment. Of course, the Pilot is not a true 4x4 off-roader, but it can do a course like this that Honda has set up. Alright, let's see how the new Pilot does. And there's a variety of different obstacles here, and I'm really excited to see how it works. 2019 model year is a mid-cycle refresh. That's the business terminology for it. That just means that the car's been on the market for 2 or 3 years, and the manufacturer is ready to give it a freshening up, add some technologies, add some features. For 2019, Honda changed the look of the Pilot just a little bit. So the headlights and the way that they integrate into the front grille is different. Then the rear taillights are a little bit different. There are now LEDs all around, including the LED fog lights as well on the higher trim levels. Now Honda Sensing is available across every trim. No matter which Pilot you get for 2019, you're gonna get the collision mitigation system with brake assist and lane keep assist and adaptive cruise control. If you get an EX and higher trim levels, you can also get blind spot monitoring system that they call blind spot information. These tires, obviously not hardcore off-road tires, but in this very dry environment with a very loose dirt, they're actually working pretty well. I'm really surprised. The Pilot's all-wheel drive system is able to shift up to 70% of power to the rear axle, and then there's an active differential. Honda calls it torque vectoring as well.
We have a really capable all-wheel drive system in this vehicle. It's got full torque vectoring. It's able to send 70% of that torque to the rear wheels, and it's able to distribute 100% of that in between the left or the right side of the vehicle.
Now I'm gonna go into a sandy area, and I'm gonna try to go a little bit faster through here because it's pretty flat, but I want to see exactly how the all-wheel drive system handles the loose sand. It's supposed to be a little bit more rear biased. I want to make sure I'm in sand mode. Indeed I am. So let's see how this works. the graphic is showing me that it's sending a little bit more to the rear, just kind of propelling me forward. That was no big deal. The Pilot competes in a pretty crowded segment. It has to go up against the Toyota Highlander, which is currently the leader in the segment in terms of sales. Then there's a Ford Explorer, Nissan Pathfinder, there's a Hyundai Santa Fe, etc., and on and on and on. 2019 models are starting to arrive at dealerships. Actually, they started in July, so you can already go and check them out. But here's the thing, as far as competition is concerned, the Pilot only comes with one engine option. A lot of the competitors offer either different engines or hybrid power systems as well. There's no hybrid in the Pilot, but you do have two transmission options, the 6-speed, which is for the LX and the EX models, and the 9-speed for the Touring and the Elite models. Now I'm in the frame twister section, even though the Pilot doesn't have a frame. What Honda wants to show here is that even when the Pilot lifts a tire, and there's not a lot of articulation, right? This is an independent front-rear suspension, so there's not a great amount of wheel articulation. And the way the traction control system works, Honda tells me you want to keep the RPM around 1500. That lets, it's basically sending enough power to the drive system, and the computer figures the rest out. You don't want to over rev it. Did you hear that? This is basically the traction system working, trying to get me out of this really tough area. So the traction system was actually working really hard there, but it needs that RPM. All the Pilots you see here at the event are the top-of-the-line Elite models, and an all-wheel drive Elite Pilot for 2019 retails for just over $49,000, and that includes everything, all the options. The LX model starts at $32,445 for the front-wheel drive. I'm entering another rock garden, and the Pilot has almost 8 inches of ground clearance. It's about between 7.8 and 7.9 inches of ground clearance. Obviously I want to take it very slowly because I don't want to get a lot of up and down motion in the suspension. I'm climbing this giant hill now. Let me make a pause. There is a hill start assist, so when I transition from the brake to the gas, there's a few seconds where it actually holds me on the hill, and then I can apply more power. These tires are doing actually pretty well, considering I'm like on a 30-degree slope. Oof, I can't see anything. It's like a roller coaster ride here. I'm heading down into the abyss. Interior of the 2019 Pilot is about the same as before for this generation of the car, and this Elite model has a 7-person configuration with second row being the captain chairs. You can also get the 7-person configuration in the Touring models, which is, according to Honda, something that a lot of customers were asking for, and now they get it. Then you could also have an 8-person configuration with 3 and 3 and 2 in the front, which is important so you can carry a lot of people. Also have the capability of the all-wheel drive system for slippery conditions, and also be able to tow up to 5,000 pounds. Alright, let's see how the Pilot tows. This is a unique opportunity. I haven't towed with the Pilot before. We did an eye-gauntlet test in Colorado with the Honda Ridgeline pickup truck, and the Pilot is related to the Ridgeline in many ways. I'm towing just under 4,000 pounds, but how cool is this trailer? Towing a Honda Civic race car. I'm going up 100 more feet in elevation. Let's listen. Did you hear that change in the engine tone? That's VTEC. It kicked in, yo! The Pilot is handling this trailer beautifully. It's stable, feels good. The aluminum trailer is handling the weight of the race car. And the suspension is actually acting really normal. The Honda Pilot, when you get the additional transmission cooler, is rated at 5,000 pounds, so the rating stays the same as the previous year, no change there. If you don't get the transmission cooler, the rating is 3,500 pounds. And it's the same rating as with the Honda Ridgeline. There's not a special towing mode. This is a 9-speed in this Elite. With a 9-speed automatic, you get this push-button transmission system. It takes a little while to get used to, but if I keep my hand here on the buttons, because the reverse is actually going down, and the drive buttons are on top, I'm really glad Honda had an opportunity for us to tow. Because about 10% of Pilot customers actually do tow, so it's important to know that your vehicle can handle it. And if you're towing heavier, over 3,000 pounds, I would definitely recommend you get a trailer brake controller. Many states, if not every state, requires a trailer brake controller above 3,000 pounds. This is a relatively light load, but I'm pretty impressed the way Pilot is handling it. So 4,000 pounds is not a huge amount of weight, but the suspension feels just as if you were running empty. The 2019 Honda Pilot actually drives very similarly to the outgoing 2018, but that's a good thing. It handles the twisty highways pretty well. It handles towing surprisingly well. I was really impressed. And off-road, yes, on this Honda course, it got me out of every sticky situation. Go back to tflcar.com for news, views, and first drive reviews. We're actually really cool. Never done that before. Let's see if I can actually pull it back up. Roar! Hulk! Roar!